Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX automatic. Just 46,000 miles on this car, lovely condition, and with this really lovely exterior pack with the front and rear bumper treatment, rear spoiler, side steps. Really does look absolutely fantastic. Registered on C3DXC, and that plate is staying with the vehicle, so it's a lovely plate on the car. The car itself is in really great condition. Lights, lenses completely clear and intact there. Front of the car is very clean indeed. Bonnet itself, I can't see any obvious stone chips. There's going to be one or two obviously. There's nothing that immediately sort of jumps out at you. Coming down the near side of the car first, lovely and clean in the panel work. Front wing absolutely unmarked. Front near side alloy absolutely marked as well. Michelin tyre on this axle on the side, and the remaining panels absolutely lovely. Near side rear alloy again really nice, and again Michelin tyre. Come around on that angle there for you, just see how clean and crisp those panels are. I love that angle for the car, it's a really good looking car. Coming around the back of the vehicle, again all very clean and tidy. And then offside, really clean on the panels. I should have just said it's actually got 4 Michelin tyres, shouldn't I, rather than just tell you that, but there you go. It has got 4 Michelin tyres and they're all really good. Alloy on the offside and the rear there, absolutely super. The remaining panels are really good. It's not to say there isn't the odd light mark on the car. There will be, but they will be very few and far between, because this is a really lovely car in really excellent condition. So coming into the boot area, it's all been kept beautifully back here. Plastics are in really good condition, no skag marks or anything on those at all. But yeah, it's a cavernous boot as well. Pull the levers and they just drop down at the rear seats in one sort of action as well. Power tailgate, press the button and then it just drops down automatically. Coming at the back of the car now, the car's interior is just like the exterior in the sense that it's absolutely beautiful condition. Massive amount of rear legroom on these cars, and bear in mind those seats are set for me and I'm over 6 foot tall at the front there, so I'm not kind of cheating for the video. And the leatherwork, which is absolutely stunning, is in wonderful condition. Front passenger door card, as with all the others, looks pretty much as new in all honesty. Footwell areas, again clean as a whistle. And the front passenger seat there, been given very light use indeed. Coming to the front now, driver's door card, all the electric switches for the sunroof, the wing mirror, windows, etc. And obviously electric memory buttons there as well for the driver's seat. Again, footwell areas all very clean and tidy. And driver's seat, again, just hardly any use at all, just glorious condition. So sat inside the car now, engine's running through this section of the video so you can see the dashboard actually illuminated. The dashboard, in all honesty, looks absolutely as new in here. It's in gorgeous condition. You see there, sat nav working absolutely perfectly. If I put the car into reverse, get that lovely clear gridded parking camera. But it's just absolutely glorious in here, it really is. You come across the main dashboard binnacle. I'll pan in there for you. You can see 46,266 miles. Engine running with no warning lights at all. Steering wheel looks and feels pretty much as new in hand. It really does. And the video, again, as is often the case, doesn't really do justice to this car at all. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack, lock and wheel nut key, both here and present with the car. Finally, just to come under this absolutely beautifully presented engine bay. It's a joy to see an engine that you can actually look around and do basic maintenance without having to remove all these sort of plastic shrouds. Just been serviced, by the way. It's It's got a wonderful service history attached to this vehicle. Right then, this is a road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V, and it's a 2-litre EX automatic. This particular car is registered C3DXC, and mileage at the start of the video is 46,266 miles. The reason we do these videos is basically so anyone that's actually looking at this car online in an advert gets to see the car actually in operation. We feel it's right, if people are willing to travel the distances they do to come and see and buy our cars, that we go to the time and effort to do this. It gives us opportunity to tell you about the vehicle, but more importantly, to let you know if there's any issues on the vehicle prior to you coming to see us. We know just how frustrating it is to go and see a car and you've asked all the questions, only to find out when you get there it's got a glaring fault, which you wouldn't have gone and seen the car had you known. So hence, that's why we do it. Also done on these really lovely, quiet country roads, very close to our premises, so hopefully be representative of what you'd feel yourself if offered a test drive on the car. So coming to the car itself, engine is a typical Honda engine. It's so sweet in operation, wonderfully refined, starts absolutely instantly, of course, press of a button in the case of this vehicle. Settles to a completely even idle, there's no pulsing or fluctuations, and it pulls just so smoothly through the complete rev range of the car. It doesn't get harsh at any point. Temperature gauge, by the way, is running at a third, and the car has been running for well over an hour now. It's just gone through the workshops and had a service and a pre-delivery inspection. Engine then feeds through into the Honda automatic gearbox, typical of the breed in that it's a lovely smooth gearbox in terms of the gear change. You should still do all the checks on a gearbox, regardless of the reputation of the manufacturer. Just make sure that the gears engage smoothly. All the gear changes should be very slick in operation. There shouldn't be any sort of clunks or thunks when they go into gear. And this is absolutely perfect. We've never touched one of these gearboxes, and we've sold them with well over 100,000 miles. So they're very, very strong indeed. Gearbox, you can also, you've got the paddles on the steering wheel here. Go down the gear with the left hand one, go up the gear with the right hand one. It's effectively, you can use it as a manual if you want to, but this is really designed, in my opinion at least anyway, so when you're going to do like an overtaking manoeuvre and you want to zip by something a bit quick, but have the confidence to know that the car's not going to suddenly change up gear halfway around the overtaking manoeuvre, which automatics obviously can do, because they just want to get in the highest gear as quick as possible for economy reasons. This takes away kind of that option for the gearbox to do it, and it all works absolutely beautifully. I mean, basically, regardless of what speed you're going at, just pull one of the tabs to find a gear, and it'll display which gear you're in on the dashboard. So if I do a plus there, it's telling me I'm in 5th gear. Pulling down, I'm in 4th, 3rd. Imagine I'm overtaking something, accelerate away, 4th, 5th. It's as simple as that. And then leave it alone, and it's already turned itself off and back into automatic mode. There's no selecting the gear lever or anything daft like that, so it does it all for you, and it all works perfectly. Steering of the car, really good on these vehicles, very accurate, and much more like a car with more sporting pretensions actually. It's very swift to change direction, track's absolutely dead straight, by the way. There's no vibrations at all coming back through the steering wheel of the car, which is a bit of a pet hate of mine at this speed, or any speed up to the legal limit. And it just feels incredibly tight and taut on the road with no wear in it at all. Same goes for the suspension of the vehicle, and what I'm doing on these road tests, because there's some quite sort of bumpy bits, is just listening out for any sort of clonks or metallic noises coming from underneath the car that shouldn't be there. Because you'll hear it hitting the bumps, but shouldn't have anything after that. It's normally really innocent stuff, little drop links or little rubber bush perished, but could be more obviously, but there's nothing on this at all. they're also very, very comfortable cars to drive. I mean, Honda are the best-selling. The CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, and you can see why, because they've just absolutely nailed it in terms of its what it achieves and what it does, what it gives you. Because it is a family car. It's not a sports car, but it gives you a very compliant ride. But it's just wonderfully controlled through the corners as well. And this is where some cars really come unstuck. If you haven't got good body control and you've got a very soggy ride, which seems very comfortable, but start going through the corners, especially passengers in the back, they start heave-hoing, swaying around in there, and they'll soon turn green. The CR-V is just brilliant, because even though it's quite a tall car, you don't get huge amounts of body lean, but what you do get is really beautifully controlled. So if I go through the next corner, probably a little bit quicker than I would do ordinarily, slightly off camber, slightly bumpy, turn in, and it just holds station so well. And that means, as I said, people aren't getting thrown about inside the back of the car. Brakes on the car, good solid brake pedal on the vehicle. What again I'm looking for is just any signs of any kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and there's nothing at all on the car. Looking around inside here, the dashboard's brilliant because it's so simple. There's loads of specification in here, there's loads of things, but it's all easily used, very accessible, and all working absolutely perfectly. Heated seats, air conditioning blows ice cold, sat nav, camera, all working exactly as it should, as all the dials and display in the instrument pack in front of me. But what the videos again just can't get across to you is the build quality, because they are quite beautifully made cars. Not a hint of a buzz or a creak from inside the car. I always refer to it as kind of real world build quality, because it is. When these the car magazines test these brand new cars, it's all well and good because they all feel well built when they're brand new. But when they've done, been on the road for 5 or 6 years, or done approaching 50,000 miles or so, that's when you find out how well or otherwise a car is actually built. Because it's just wait, sorry a second. It's all going on at the moment. Don't really see a car down here, but there we go. But yeah, I mean, they stand up to the vigours of road use so well, but also more importantly, how families use these cars, because they can destroy cars. But these, as I said, are just beautifully made. They're also, obviously, this is a four-wheel drive vehicle, but there's no buttons or levers or anything at all, or switches to operate in it, because it does it all for you. The genius behind the system is basically Honda worked out, again, with their experience of these cars, the vast majority of people driving them will be driving up roads like this in conditions like this, where you do not need the four-wheel drive operating. If you've got four-wheel drive operating, you're using more fuel, you're putting more mechanical wear through the car, and you get through tyres more quickly as well. This is running in front-wheel drive, the most efficient way to pull a car along, pretty much all the time. Only if it needs to go into four-wheel drive will it do so itself. So if you imagine, in sort of snowy conditions or going across a muddy field or something, front wheels start to spin, it seamlessly, the rear wheels come in with you do nothing at all, gets you through it and turns off immediately after. It's absolutely brilliant in the way it operates. It really is. And its simplicity gives it its reliability, because we've never touched one, and we have literally sold thousands of Honda cars using this system and never put a spanner on any of them. So it is a very tough system indeed. Which brings me back to the original point of the video, picking up on any issues. Nothing on this car at all. It drives absolutely perfectly. Having said that, if you've got any questions about the car at all, please don't hesitate, do give us a call.